Today is a fun one. I'll be heading to what was Bushwackers, where Matt and I were doing sound before. It is now called Guitars and Cadillacs because they've decided to hire us to do sound at the new venue. You see this giant box over here? I decided to treat myself to a new guitar. I was looking for something that sounded more like a Les Paul, but did not weigh 800 pounds. So I'm trying out this PRS SE594. I really like that the layout's very similar to a Les Paul. I've been playing my Telecaster with the Chopper T, and it was a little too bright, so I wanted to go a little darker with this guitar. But honestly, the pickup's too dark, but I'll have to change it later. Today, thankfully, it is very beautiful. Spring has sprung, everybody. Look at this green. I'm so happy. Now, if I could just get a little bit larger garage, that would make me even happier. One thing that I like about going to Bushwackers or Guitars and Cadillacs now is it's in Ralston, which is like a little town that was eaten up by Omaha. So it still has small town vibes. Look at that. Guitars and Cadillacs. It's official. And if you watch my videos, you know I like to be early. And of course, Matt's always here earlier than me. Guitars and Cadillacs has started using this as their main entrance, which makes sense. This one's kinda hidden, and this is mostly used just for sound guys and band load-in now. I've posted a little bit of content on my members only section, but this is the first official unveiling. You can see they have opened this space up quite a bit. Before they had seating here with these barrels, but now it's just all open and it's lit up a little bit more. I like it. Matt is playing in Smart, and if you'd like to learn more about Smart, check out Michael Curtis's channel. He explains it really well. Before we had these Martin arrays, and we had problems really pushing sound the entire dance floor, but now they've added these FBT column array speakers, and while at first I hadn't seen anything that looked like this in a venue before, they actually sound really good. And then they matched them with some FBT subwoofers underneath the stage. The sound booth also got an upgrade. It's centered in the dance floor instead of off to the side here like it was before. And they've added a bunch of fancy stuff like the front of this car. This is actually metal. That's really fun. I'm curious if they found this at a junkyard or if there's a company that makes these. You can see they've got some more fun accessories on the side of the booth here. And they also have this new app for requesting songs for when the DJ's here. The setup's pretty cool. They also added these speakers in the back here to kind of fill the back of the dance floor. I think the big speakers do a good job, but this fills it out really nicely. Then on this side, it used to be raised up, and this was all seating and kind of blocked off, but now it feels way more open and inviting. They've done a really good job adding all these little special touches to make it feel like a cool music venue. And now there's this VIP section right next to the stage. Guitars and Cadillacs kind of focuses more on national acts and tours, so this will be a good spot. Yeah, this rope isn't gonna work out for very long, I bet. Ooh, look at this. Locked. Nobody can get in here but me. Well, you can see right there, we have some new toys in the booth. They have changed out the Midas and it's now a Wing instead of the M32. This is really why I bought my Wing rack so that I could get more comfortable with it before I started working here. They also added a new lighting controller. The DJ is supposed to run the lights, but you know I'm gonna play with this. And I know nothing about DJ gear, but this thing looks like real DJ equipment. Before, it was just a laptop, but yeah, I actually am gonna do some research. I wanna learn how to use one of these guys. I have no real desire to be a DJ, but I just love tech. That's terrible. I have no idea what I'm doing, you guys. Okay, quit screwing around. Matt needs to show me how he's got his layout. I guess I'll do some real work. Everybody has their own workflow, so he's just kind of showing me how he has it set up here. The stage now has a house drum kit, so that'll be nice. With the mics mostly hooked up, save time. They also have this drum riser. I've never seen anything like this, but apparently they're very popular. I just don't want to reach my arm in there. My spider sense is going off and I get some Final Destination vibes, so I'll stay clear of that for a while. Over on this side, we have a M32C, which is going to be the monitor mixer, and it also has a splitter so that everything can come into one, split between front of house and then the monitor mixer. They've also added a lot of lights. And as you know, I've been getting into lights more and more, and I really do think they do elevate a performance a lot. They did try a different unit, but we're going to use the tried and true venue for haze. The band is here, so they're going to start setting up. The nice part is if bands are using their own in-ear mixers, a lot of times they run all their lines themselves and they keep self-contained. It's just easier because at the end of the night, they don't pull our cables and accidentally take our cables, or vice versa. So we just take their tails from their rack and we will plug into our rack. We are getting some massive signal coming from the bass. So the first step was just to do a ground lift off of his unit there, and that fixed it. We're good to go. So let's do a little check. Yeah, these speakers are really clear and articulate. They're going to be fun to work with. Let's check out their gear. So this is their rack. They're using the Soundcraft as the brains for the unit for their in-ears. The bass player here has a pretty modest pedal board. This is the unit that we used the ground lift on that corrected our issue. Here's his bass. The singer tonight will be playing an acoustic and a mandolin, and she's got this fancy blinged out mic stand. And you know you're working with a pro when they have a clock for time. One of the guitar players will be going through this Kemper. They will be sharing this rack to hold their guitars, and the other guitar player is also using a Kemper, which is really common in the country world. For vocal mics, they're using a mixture of Sennheiser 935s and Shure 58s. And you can tell this is a smart band because they're using the world's best fan. All across the front row is this Lasko fan. Seriously, if you don't use this fan, you're missing out. The kick drum will be mic'd by an Audix mic, and then we mic underneath the hi-hat for sure, and then generally somewhere by the ride. And then the mics that they've chosen for the venue for the snare and all the toms is going to be the Sennheiser 604s. Most drummers aren't against playing a house kit, but they like to use their own cymbals most of the time. And I believe these were his pedals too. Most drummers have a pedal that they like to use. For effects, they're using this Roland SPD. Well, that's their gear, so I'm gonna check out the rest of the venue. This is where you'll enter now, and they have this fun little photo booth that's the back of what I assume is a Cadillac. Okay, I cannot lean back on that. That's weird for me. And then they have this extra bar in the back room, and they also have food here. But what's really neat is what I didn't notice till right here. They have speakers set up so you can still hear the band really well back here, so you're not just separated from the venue. So we're set up. They set up on Fridays and they play both Friday and Saturday. So what that means is you come in early on a Friday, set up the band, and then theoretically, if everything goes correctly, Saturday you don't have to be here as early. It's nighttime. Looks like I just got in my car and got back out, but I promise you, some hours have passed by. You can see, there's lights on and stuff. The DJ is here, so what's interesting is that I won't have to worry about DJing before or on breaks. I can just solely focus on the band, which is great for me. I wanted to test out recording on an SD card. I only had this 128, but it is showing it here. I guess you can't format it on the unit, but if you format it and bring it in, it will work. People are starting to show up. The show should be starting soon. It's an interesting schedule that Matt has written on this super official piece of tape. All right, let's start this. There it is. We survived another gig. No real issues tonight. I did have to go up and turn down the venue hazer. It was getting a little too crazy in here, but it ended up looking really nice. So my review of Guitars and Cadillacs, the sound system sounds great. I think they did a good job. It looks really nice in here, and I think it's going to be fun to do gigs here. I'm going to go in and say goodnight to the band, and I'll be heading out. It's really weird not picking up all the cables, but it's a nice change of pace. I'd like to thank all my YouTube members and everybody who subscribed to me. I really appreciate all the support, and I will see you at the next gig.